Turning now to politics on this Monday, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin dropped the axe on his party's agenda, saying he's a no on President Joe Biden's Build Back Better Act, potentially killing the social spending bill and climate bill. Joining us now to break it all down for us is Caroline Heldman, professor of critical theory and social justice at Occidental College. Good morning, Caroline.
Happy Monday, Giselle.
Not happy for the Democrats. Some people are calling Joe Manchin the Grinch that stole Christmas. How big a blow to the president's agenda?
This is a massive blow to the president's agenda. If you recall, he had three pieces of legislation, major pieces of legislation that he promoted in order to get into office. And as soon as he got into office, that would be the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill that passed, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that passed. And this was his third crowning moment, a $1.75 billion Build Back Better bill. As you might recall, Joe Biden said, look, we're going to reshape the way that government is involved in people's lives. We're going to be much more empathetic. So this is a major blow to his agenda in that he probably won't get this third piece of legislation through.
Wow. So do you find it interesting that Joe Manchin made this announcement on Fox News and not a call to the president himself, which seemed to draw a stinging rebuke from Biden?
It is unusual for a senator of the same party as the president to not take a call from the president, and that is exactly what happened before Joe Manchin went on Fox News to announce this. Giselle, I think he's playing home state politics, and understanding, West Virginia politics is important here. Joe Manchin grew up in a political family. He's been a Democrat his whole life. He met Bobby Kennedy and JFK when he was a kid. But over the span of his life, it's become a much more Republican state, mostly because of the declining coal industry. And that's been blamed on liberal environmentalists. And so, it is now a state that votes so solidly Republican. It went 69% for Trump back in 2020. So Joe Manchin is both pitching to his constituency, which really swings Republican, but he's also someone who's always prioritized what his mentor taught him to prioritize, which is bipartisanship. So he has been a thorn in the Democrat side, saying, look, things need to be more conservative, more in the middle, and more bipartisan. And here we are. It's not surprising to me that he went on Fox, because he's just trying to keep his Senate seat.
Well, he also says he's concerned with inflation, and that's what justifies why he voted this way. But he voted for the $778 billion military budget. That's 4 times higher than the Build Back Better plan. And also 93% of children rely on child tax credits in West Virginia, and that would be aced out of if he doesn't pass this social spending bill. So what is the true justification here?
Yeah, Giselle, whatever he wants to say about why he's not going to vote for this is a bit disingenuous, given that the Democrats actually gutted this bill from $3.5 trillion down to the $1.75 that Manchin said he needed in order to pass it. So at this point in time, it's probably pure politics. And as you point out, many of his constituencies actually benefit from it. In fact, West Virginia is #1 in the nation for folks getting government subsidies. And that means 1 in 3 West Virginians are receiving some form of government assistance. This will not help his constituency, but it will in terms of actual real dollars, but it will help him politically because Joe Biden has been so pushed to the left and maligned over basic things as like the child tax credit or extension of Medicaid, that at the end of the day, it's not actually about reality. It's about the perception of politics.
Right. Let me ask you this question. There are 5 Republican senators who are not seeking re-election next year. Is there any shot that just one, could, be pulled in to make the vote here to make it pass?
There is, Giselle. The Democratic Party, if they're smart, is going to reach out to Roy Blunt or some of these other senators who are leaving and say, look, this is how it's going to benefit your state. I think that's probably Biden's next plan. Another option might be to chunk this out into different pieces and try to get it passed that's more palatable to Republicans. But it's not totally dead. It's just mostly dead.
All right. So here's the big question. How does this impact the midterms? Are we just dead in the water?
Well, the Democrats are certainly in trouble. Anytime the polling for the presidency gets below 50%, you should expect about a 40-seat swing in a midterm election. For context, New poll just came out from NPR. Joe Biden's down at 41%. And in the House, Democrats have 4 seats to lose. In the Senate, they have no seats to lose. So yes, this is likely to be a bit of a bloodbath for Democrats in the 2022 elections.
And really quickly, another big issue before the president is, the Supreme Court. Any chance of getting Breyer to resign early so that he can actually, put someone in there?
There's a possibility. There's certainly a campaign. A lot of liberals are really upset that Breyer hasn't resigned. There was a lot of that big push for RGB as well, for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but it's just not the way it works, right? On the court, you typically want to stay as long as possible up until the very last moment, and that's what I would anticipate Breyer will do.
All right. Caroline Heldman, thank you so much for giving us your perspective on this bright and early Monday morning. We'll see you again, I'm sure, later on in the week. All right, you're taking a look at Topanga Beach at the crack of dawn. Take a look at that beautiful start to a Monday morning, the Monday before Christmas, my friends. Make it a beautiful day. Don't worry about shopping, just take in the view. This is your morning on Spectrum News 1. We'll be right back.